execution of the governance network. And with that in mind, let's move on to today's agenda. So we've got a quick recap of what went on a couple of weeks ago. So at the 39th Platform and Treasury Council meeting, the team proposed updates on network development, focusing on security hardening, improved node onboarding, and ongoing testnet stress testing with growing validator participation. We've also had a rundown on the unified web presence. It's advancing well. The design phase is nearly complete. Content finalization is underway, so anytime now, and the custom mobile first phase, build phase, is set to begin shortly. We also had a proposal regarding the contractor engagement framework that was discussed to formalize short-term engagements while ensuring governance oversight. And the Telcoin Explorer update highlighted ongoing fixes, scaling improvements, observer nodes deployment, and future dashboard solutions. These updates reflect strong momentum and steady progress across the ecosystem. Okay, so that's what happened last week, an introduction to the network, and we'll move on to what we're going to go through looking forward. So Grant, if you're available for updates on the Telcoin network.
I am. Thanks, Hayden. The team's top priority remains production hardening and enhancing security. So on that note, the process is really methodical, and we've identified several key areas to kind of target before mainnet. Moving forward, I'm going to do my best to be very specific and narrow with what we have outstanding as it comes up, and to try to keep the roadmap as accurate as possible. Networking-wise, we continue to improve reliable communication and discovery for nodes on the network. So in general, there's two types of nodes. We have validator nodes that vote and observer nodes that are tracking the committee of validators and their votes. So the network is continuing to grow at a healthy pace, and it's introduced new ways to improve the resilience and just the overall network discovery of peers and that connect and then sync historic state. So as those nodes are connecting and they start syncing, we've also been tracking in the logs, and we've seen a few friction points that we can improve on. Syncing historic states is ultimately working well. It's relatively quick, and that validates the underlying system that we built is working as intended. But building on that, we've identified and want to improve on how the nodes stay up to date after their initial sync. And that work really goes towards ensuring that validators can smoothly transition into committees at epic boundaries. On the security front, we have continued to have impressive turnouts from the AI security scans that continue to pay off. The most recent scan, for instance, just this week surfaced an issue in the core consensus registry that involved how certain cryptographic keys were validated. Ultimately, it would have allowed the same validator who has to go through an onboarding process with the councils to register a key twice. They still would have had to stake twice as well. But, that's the kind of things that we want to make sure are completely and thorough in our assessments, right? Because ultimately with a permission validator set, the risk is arguably low, but that type of gap is still unacceptable. And this is what I mean when we're trying to go back from 99% to 100% for mainnet readiness. So with that, we've taken an approach and a different security stance on that particular BLS library in Solidity, which was originally intended to be our first security audit. And really taking a hard look at it, we've identified a way that I think realistically is much better long term, although it does add a little bit of work initially. And that really is to reduce the attack surface from about 500 lines of code in Solidity that costs gas and ultimately fees, down to only 7 lines of code in a precompiled for Telcoin network EVM. That doesn't affect any sort of Ethereum compatibility, but that will dramatically reduce the attack surface and code. And that refactor also reuses code that is already in scope for other audits, which will help us extend the security budget. So, this is sort of those types of solutions, I think, are elegant and they're long-term what we're trying to figure out, but they take time and they're not exactly obvious initially. So, that patch, for instance, though, and good news, that's the last known issue that we've identified before we start security audits for the consensus registry. So we've reached out to our security partners and we're planning to schedule a meeting to put this all in scope next week. Other than that, we've onboarded 5 new data centers these past 2 weeks, and there's another node that I believe is planning to come online next week. And then, so it's exciting to see the network continue to expand and grow the validation footprint. The protocol team is also working on designs still to support off-chain metrics for public-facing dashboards to make this information more accessible. And we've already laid some of the groundwork in order to make that achievable. So looking ahead, we'll keep methodically working through this sort of hardening process in the code base, and especially as issues arrive and are brought to our attention from our partners. And as always, the roadmap remains the source of truth. We did go through and provide a lot of detailed updates, and I think moving forward, that's my goal, is to be a little bit more precise. The full expanded issues are in GitHub; they always are there. But I think as we get closer to mainnet, I want to make sure that people have that sort of insight into the project. So I really appreciate everyone's patience, and yeah, really proud of the work that's being done, the protocol team, through this final phase.
Great, Grant. Thank you for the update there, and impressive to see going from 500 lines of code down to 7 on an attack surface. It's got to be beneficial. All right. Well, if we move on to our next part, we've got progress on the Web Unification project. Blue Lights, if you're available to jump up there.
Thanks, Hayden. Yeah, going very well. We're coming to the end of the second phase. We have still got to get the content in, so we haven't finalized that yet, but we should be finalizing that hopefully next week. But yeah, overall, amazing. We're doing really well on that front, and we're going to be entering the build phase in the next couple of weeks. So yeah, it's great. But I thought I've been trying to give some visual updates for a while now, and we decided we'll give some now. Just one caveat: what I'm going to show you now, I can't show you everything, so I'm going to just give you a taster. But just keep in mind that any content you see is just placeholder. It's not finalized. It's not 100% accurate. This is more obviously the design of the pages. But yeah, let's get right into it. Yeah, so our homepage, after much thought and deliberation and going back and forth, is going to, let me just get the zoom going here. Why is it not letting me zoom in? Let's have a look. No, for some reason, when I'm sharing my screen, it doesn't want me to zoom in. Okay, anyway, so yeah, this is the homepage currently. So a lot of thought has gone into how the homepage is going to affect the user journey of whoever lands on it. So you can see now we've kind of got a lovely clear kind of image and header, straight to the point. Everything's branded Telcoin Network because that's what it is. It's going to be telcoin.network, and that's the crux of the product. Straight away, we're trying to break down the barriers to make it easy to understand. So you've got choose your journey, mobile network operator, developers, DeFi, things like that. New users can go off somewhere to read more about it in depth. More about it. This is all rough. The content is not right here at all. Again, content is not right, but we're just trying to break down the layers, of how the network is going to work and the ecosystem is going to come together. Because the one main reason why we're doing this is to unify everything and to make things a lot easier for everybody to understand what's going on here. Again, don't get excited by a Visa debit card. This is just like placeholder text of like example products that can be built on the network. Now I want to zoom out, but I can't zoom out. I don't know why that's not letting me zoom out, because I'm going to stop my screen for a minute and share a different page. Yeah, see, now it zooms out.
Control mouse scroll.
Yeah, it wasn't working. It wasn't working when I was doing it when I was sharing the page for some reason. Let me just go back to here. Okay, share this one. Okay, again, so more about the council, because we know that the telcoin.org site is data rich, but quite difficult for users to kind of get through and understand what the council is. So obviously we're breaking it down with how the council is, how it works, click off, meet the council. All this will be updated and look better. Learn more about the association, the governance forum, the latest TLIPs and TIPs will be here and then take you to them to read. Let's have a look. And then I'm going to share one more page. Do you think I can show the Telex one? I think that one's all right, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that might be down here somewhere. No, it's not. Let me try and zoom out again. Oh, now it's letting me. Okay, let me zoom right out. Go down to...
And this is going to be compatible both desktop and mobile.
Yeah, we've got a mobile. We've got a mobile bit here somewhere. These pages get so big, it's ridiculous. But let's go down and have a look at Telex. Now that's the old Telex. Where's it? Okay, I don't think I'm on the right one. But yeah, so the new kind of Telex header is going to be like this with the Telex logo. But yeah, in essence, here you go. So just an updated to keep everything in line. Nice and easy how Telex works. Stuff like the liquidity pools, like this. Go into them. Lots of data and information on there. Staking the LPs. Your portfolio page, showing you which pools you're in. I think it's a new one. Let me go to. Can't show. There's one page I can't show. So let me just go. Yeah, this is mobile. So obviously,
yeah, I was gonna say the far left there would be the mobile one. Yep.
Yeah. So mobile, something like it's going to be like this. So just want to be careful what we're showing on here. But yeah, where's the developer page? Is it this one?
Should be middle. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, so one of the important pages is, the kind of the M&O landing page and the developers landing page, equally important. The developer landing page, again, this is all just placeholder text, but straight away it's showing you the different paths you've got to building on the Telcoin network. You've got the GSMA path, if you're a GSMA member. Then you'll be entitled to network rewards and also governance. If you're not, you can still build open source, no approval required, same as any other network. Start building. It will have a lot more information about building and deploying, connected to the network. What could you build on the network? Different options, different ideas. We're planning to have like a project ideas page of some kind as well, that it might not be at the very beginning. Developer learning center, how to get started. Technical documentation. This will lead off to the actual deeper technical, if you want to get straight, if a developer wants to get straight involved and go straight to the techie stuff, they can go straight into the documentation. Again, easy forms to fill out if again, this content is not accurate. I've already put some comments on here, but if you are a GSMA member, for example, you can request access. You'll be coming into the forum to try and get your application in and get your NFT. What else have we got here? What other pages have we got? We can show. Let's have a look. Can't show that one, just in case. Is this one?
That one should be okay. The about would be good.
The about one, yeah. So again, about the Telcoin network. Again, placeholder text, not finalized yet. We are going through the text now, but you can imagine it's a lot of text to kind of go through. And also, this is going to be a complete CMS backend, so we'll always be able to edit stuff, going forward as well. We'll have one place to edit everything, which is going to make life a lot easier. Stuff like this. So Telcoin platform breaks it all down. Learn more. Application network, Telex. Forget all these. These are just placeholders, so don't get excited. They're just placeholder.
Reiterate that again.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had that. This is one reason why we didn't want to show it off. So I just want to make it clear that none of these are announced, and this is just placeholder information at the moment. But yeah, in essence, that's kind of. I might as well show the M&O page now, even though that's not. Partnership pages. more information on there. Where are we? Again,
And as the network and everything develops, the network still owns the operational part of the website as well.
oh yeah, we own the Telcoin Association will own the full IP of all the code and everything.
Yes. Very good.
So yeah, this is like the MNO landing page. So again, please ignore all that. I don't want to see anyone on X getting all excited or in the channels. This is just placeholder text. So the MNO page breaks down exactly what you can do, how to run a validator, how it all works, infrastructure, how the process is, and how to become a network validator as well. I think that's pretty much it. Is there any other thing, Derek, you think is worth showing?
No, do the mobile views. I think the mobile views are great. And then go to the left here, a little
Down
further
here?
actually. No, up,
Oh.
and then left, and then that page right here. I can't. Let's see, not the main page, but the one after it.
This one.
Yep.
Now that's the about the association, isn't it?
Yeah. Which I think, we started on that one. So just the reason I wanted you to bring up that one again is because I think it's important to note that like currently the telcoin.org is really geared around the association page. And like this whole project, which is very extensive, is really focused on really encompassing all the websites in the same type of unilateral ecosystem and ensuring that they all have the same type of matching and equal presence in the web. It makes it easier for developers, for MNOs, for anybody looking at the project to come and see everything. We'll have a newsroom page. We'll have a lot of things. So just wanted to mention that.
Yeah, and then I'll just go over the mobile view. Obviously, we're building it for mobile as well, obviously. Just how the kind of mobile pages will look on smaller displays. Just going through it all. So pretty.
You could do the product page too on mobile if you wanted to.
Where's that
one? Go to the Telcoin Association page too. The TA page that we were just at on mobile. Yeah,
this one.
I think we forget how much information this tidies up and puts it all in one place as well. It's a massive task.
Very big task.
Yeah, it's been a lot of work. Yeah, we started this when, Nick, in December-ish?
Yeah, initially. Yeah, exactly. It's been non-stop since then, really. A lot of, you've got to remember, it's like anyone coming to Telcoin, it's a lot to take in. So when we're talking with the web developers to build this vision out, we had to make them fully understand exactly what the Telcoin ecosystem and how big it is. So, it's taken a lot, but we're almost there. We're not quite there yet, but we're very almost there. Like I said, these are not the final designs, but they're very close.
One other thing too, I think it's important to mention, Nick, is just the current site. The way the search engine works on the current site is it doesn't necessarily, like if you're on the telcoin.org site, it won't search through, let's say you type in a topic. It'll search specifically that domain, but it may not look into the forums. It may not look into the Telex site, into all the other different roadmap sites. What this will do is enable, it'll be very easy to find information. The search function will go across every single domain, every single subdomain, and be able to pull up whatever you're typing in. It'll pull that up across the multiple subdomains. So it'll be much easier for the community and developers and anybody else to find information that they're looking for specifically without having to hunt around. It'll show everything. It indexes everything appropriately. It brings really everything under one unified web presence. Oh, funny. So
that's what we want.
It's gonna be good.
That'll be up here. So on all the pages, you'll have the universal search at the top. Start typing. Everything on the whole site is going to be indexed into that thing, and it will be a smarter search as well. So if you're looking for developer docs or whatever you're looking for, or something about a council, you'll get a good list of rich results that you can click straight into. So yeah, that I think is pretty. That's yeah, that's
all looks
pretty
very
much.
fresh and clean as well. So
Yeah, I think so.
entirely
Having it all under one roof, I think is going to make a lot of a lot of easy stuff, really easy for people to kind of understand.
Yeah, we haven't been able to show a lot of this to everybody, just
I'm
because
gonna
we didn't want. Oh yeah, the test net, yeah, for sure. Because we didn't
stop,
want there to
stop,
be any.
do something wrong.
Oh, you're good. Because we didn't want to show a product that wasn't near to completion. Somebody had asked how many people were working on this project specifically. Oh,
Sure.
gosh, I don't know, 20-ish, maybe.
Let me
A
think.
little less, but I mean, it's a lot. We've had a lot of people working on
A
this.
lot of
already.
us, and yeah, there was at least 6 to 8 on the other.
Yeah, on the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's been a process. It's not done. We still have a lot of work to do. But the vision, we went and looked at competitors and said, hey, we have an opportunity here as we move into mainnet to put out a product that will really be complementary and professional, and a landing page to really grow the reach of the network and the association. And that was really the framework and the goal.
Yeah, and what you see that gets built, the overall design will be very similar to this. We've got a few more touches to do, but the content, will be fully updated to be more accurate. And a lot of that stuff was put in, the images and stuff. Some of the smaller stuff was put in by the web devs. So, yeah, don't go running off all excited when you saw a couple of names on there. That's just placeholder text.
No, it's good. It's coming along nicely, guys. And as you mentioned, it's as the network develops and mainnet comes along, it's going to tie everything together quite nicely, I think.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, a lot of information to put in structure. Okay.
Yeah, that's the phase we're on right now, is reviewing everything in depth, which is a lot of time and a lot of text. So.
Yep. Yeah. I could imagine. Yeah, it's plenty. Okay. Thank you, Blue Lights and Derek there. Let's just move on. Actually, we'll get to questions shortly. So the next part is just a bit of an update. We've had a couple of snapshots over the last couple of weeks as well. They've come through. We've still got one's just timed out, I think, now, as in ready to go through to the next stage. And there'll be one more, I think, this afternoon that will run its course, that can then move through to the next stage. Both got the votes at the moment. So we've got augmenting communications and marketing. That was a proposal to leverage Telcoin's internal marketing team and augment the association's current communications and marketing efforts by Ryan. It's getting underway. And the contractor engagement as well, framework that was put forward. So the TA approval of policy framework authorizing the TAO to engage contractors for project-based work. The TAO regularly requires specialized expertise for work that does not warrant a full-time employee, and the product launches, marketing, website development, just as we've seen there, and the maintenance, so technical infrastructure, tooling, design, and creative work, and researching strategic initiatives. So when we need extra work or a bit of a skill set that's not there, that we can go out and get it or use it from the council or elsewhere, wherever we can find it there. So that'll be good once they're all. That's the immediate. Do we have any open questions and answers at the moment that we need to go through? Let's just check.
There's a good amount that I've been tracking. I'm sure I may miss some, but whenever we're ready to move into that, we can. If we're ready to go to Q&A.
Yeah, we're ready on that front now.
Okay, let me back up. I will probably package a few of these together. If I missed any, please feel free to say, mention them again, but I have the chat feed I'm looking at. So there were a few questions about, we'll start with network. Hi, Grant. First off, amazing work for yourself and the development team to getting the network ready for launch. We know that H1 is a no-go. What is your estimate? 0 to 3 months, 3 to 6 months? We would love to have some sort of insight here of what is realistic.
Yeah, I think 2026 is the year of Telcoin Network. I'm just going to stick with that. I would like to, yeah, it's as soon as it is secure and ready, and we are going live. So we've got a lot of great big pieces in place, and so it's just kind of icing on the cake.
Perfect. Thank you. Those were the two network ones that I see. Oh, somebody asked if you could clarify what does data center live in data center mean necessarily?
Yes. So this would be a node and an MNO data center. Yeah, this is which is where we plan to install mainnet and launch those nodes as well. And so having a testnet node there is really just paving the path and uncovering those sorts of real world conditions that we need to ensure that mainnet will launch without any hiccups.
Excellent. Thank you.
I've got
Sorry, go ahead.
Total
Go ahead.
MNOs that have been onboarded.
Hayden, is that a question for us, or did
that came through the chat?
Yes.
Yeah, great.
Sorry, would you repeat that? I didn't catch it.
They were asking if there was a total amount that had been onboarded that could be shared.
I think we're around 8. I'm not exactly sure between official numbers, because we have so we've and part of the infrastructure development too, a lot of the MNOs, they also outsource with integrator partners. We've been meeting with integration partners, and a lot of times those companies will work on behalf of the MNOs in order to install in the data centers for the MNO. So it's not exactly a process that we control exclusively. All right, we are working with a lot of different partners to bring mainnet to reality. But I think my goal is to have some sort of the protocol team is designing and trying to figure out, and we've already laid a few PRs down that will help us to basically have separate sort of tracking metrics on chain. So we'll be able to identify who's on the network, which nodes are on the network, and have more accurate numbers moving forward. So that's something that we hope to have really soon, because I'm really curious to know the exact numbers myself.
Awesome.
Is that part of the dashboarding that you mentioned earlier, Grant?
Yes, and the dashboard I think is yeah, exactly. I think there's a lot we could do with the dashboard. There's a lot of different ways. I haven't fully spec'd that out myself, but I know we've got a lot of great minds that are kind of thinking through it right now. And once we have that support and we have a technical solution in order to retrieve that data in a decentralized manner, then I think that'll clear it up so that we can move forward with building out that infrastructure for more public facing and human readable information.
Yeah, awesome.
Thanks, Grant. There was one other question, and Hayden, I'm sorry if you're looking to, feel free. One other one I saw was if there was any feedback from the node development or the node operators, and if you could share anything of what kind of your conversations with them have been.
I think one of the most exciting feedback that I've heard was that, wow, you guys designed this, that this actually might work. So, that's the kind of stuff that I love hearing, because there's a lot behind the scenes that it just kind of works, and that's kind of future. There's a lot of thought for future growth as well. So, yeah, all in all, I think there's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of validity in the space too, for just stable coins in general, real money use cases, the cross-border freedom that that blockchain itself enables. And then when you tie that into a framework that mobile network operators can have the power to sort of maintain their regulatory responsibilities, it really you start to see the light bulbs go off. And so, yeah, I think all in all, it's been really positive feedback and overall positive interest. So yeah, great stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
It's brilliant. Yeah, it's nice to hear that as everything comes together. That's the ultimate. Yeah, well done.
Okay, we're gonna pivot and give Grant a break for a second. And I will ask one of the other council members to answer this. Somebody asked specifically if somebody could elaborate, or if we agree with the following statement. For Telcoin holders, the most important category to watch isn't necessarily DeFi. It's whether real telecom integrated applications begin launching on the network after mainnet. Do we agree?
Well, I would say that obviously the Telcoin network is focusing on MNOs and their validators, and that means that we hope that they build apps to reach their subscribers base. That's the goal, and you can think of a lot of easy kind of common applications that could work really well reaching out to their subscribers. So yeah, I'll kind of leave it there.
Thank you, Nick. Let's see. So one more here. And Hayden or anybody else, if you guys have anything, please let me know. But I'm looking through the chat.
Yep.
There's a few questions in here, and I'll pass it to another council member, maybe compliance or somebody from there. Has there been any talks from the association and the MNOs about how they will reveal who is being who is operating on the network? So if maybe somebody could talk through the GSMA application process, that would be great.
I think I probably have the most familiarity with that.
Yeah, go for it, Grant. Trying to give you a break.
That's all good. This is something that is that is new for both sides of this agreement, and so both sides are kind of operating in some good faith in this sense. That the telecoms they are very interested. They're learning about blockchain. There's a wide variety of from like experts in the crypto space that are already running nodes themselves to not sure what the difference is between stablecoin and Bitcoin, and so a lot of that is just an educational aspect. So the telcos and MNOs have a very successful business. They have reputations to protect, and they also part of that is the responsibility to just maintain their image. So it's hard to imagine. At least for me, it was a little bit hard to fathom in the beginning of just like how truly global this is, and how a lot of these are very regional operators. So they have very, very different regulations just by even competitors and that have different headquarters in different countries. And so all of that space is down to individual operator decisions and their own guidelines and the operating procedures. And so as an association, in order to get off the ground and to sort of establish that reputation and a trust and sort of fighting against a lot of negative stereotypes in the crypto space in general, we're being very patient and allowing and flexible with MNOs announcing their participation when they feel that they have done enough due diligence, that they feel that they not only understand crypto well enough, that they also understand the protocol well enough, that they understand the primary wallet holders well enough, that they understand the community at large. And we just saw the unified web presence. There's a lot of information to digest. And so these multi-million-dollar companies are just they're doing proper due diligence at a company that size to make sure that before they attach their name officially to any sort of material, that they are quite confident that they're not stepping into a mess. We understand that, and we're doing our best to be patient and flexible with that. We're also not just, but we're also expressing our interest and our hopes that, this will happen sooner than later. So I think it is really important that eventually MNOs are public and that they announce themselves. And we're definitely doing everything we can to answer the questions, provide feedback and reassurance to put them in a more confident spot to be more public.
Yeah, that's all right. And then as Derek mentioned as well, just in the chat here, is being a trusted business partner. This is greenfields for everyone there. So there's a lot of trust, and as you say, there's millions of users that it can affect and reputations. So slow and steady, confidence on each part. Did we have anything else on the chat?
There's a few more questions about MNOs specifically, and when they would join the council meetings, and when they would have to apply before being able to be on the network. And I don't want to speak out of turn, but I believe obviously that application would be needing to be done before they would be able to be eligible for the rewards in the node process and validating nodes on the network. So that would, Grant, you can correct me if I'm wrong there, but that is a prerequisite of operating a node on mainnet specifically.
I apologize. What specifically is a prerequisite?
The application for to be a validator, essentially.
That's correct. Governance will issue an NFT and is a multi-sig safe that owns the right to mint these NFTs. Once the sort of onboarding process is complete, and we've answered all the questions and made sure that they have following the best security practices, etc. We do have a node operator documentation and specific guidelines that we're sharing with partners to review and to ask questions. And it's about like a 15-page Word document. And so, and that's separate than just like how protocol works and certain like other operate like more specific detailed technical operating details. But ultimately, that process is gated by an NFT. And so there is definitely a barrier to entry for that for the MNOs and yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Grant. Nick had another comment here about a few comments about migrating devs over from other projects specifically to assist with things. I think it's also important to note, like people are talking about Cardano in the chat. A lot of what people are seeing these are the DApp programs that are shutting down. These aren't necessarily the blockchain developers. These are specific dApps that are built on Cardano, and that's what a lot of the news that's coming out there is. So yeah, obviously it's a tough time in the grand scheme of things, and there's some projects that seem like they are winding operations down a little bit. When I say projects, I say app developers, not blockchains specifically. So a little bit of a nuanced difference there between the two. But we're obviously always looking for quality devs. So yes, if you, we are, Nick can probably speak to this the best, myself a little bit, but we're having conversations internally. The developer seats are having multiple conversations with multiple dApp developers about projects on the network and the use case and things of that nature. So things are starting to heat up in that environment. A lot of different meetings on the side and a lot of different sharing about testnet, sharing about kind of the value proposition of the network and how that works for developers. A lot of developer projects utilize grant systems where we have kind of a perpetual system that rewards developers for their actions on the network, right? So it encourages people to develop on the network. I'll plug it again, like we plug it every meeting, and Dally put it in the chat. If you run into any projects or people that develop on networks that are looking for potential growth, email us at devs@telcoin.org and we'd be happy to speak with them.
That's right. And yeah, the more projects and so forth going forward, the better for everything on the network there. Let's see the ultimate. Okay. Zero vulnerabilities.
Yeah, one more maybe for Grant. I'm sure the roadmap boasts 0 security vulnerabilities at the current moment. How confident are we that considering the scale of what we're trying to build, that this will remain?
This will remain in terms of just what do I anticipate our security posture moving forward? I guess.
Yep. Yep. That's the question.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of interesting developments in the security space, and that's one of the natures of the beast, really. You have, I think, just earlier this week there was a major quantum computing update that was threatened to jeopardize all of ECDSA and Ethereum and the underlying cryptography curves that make it cryptographically secure. There's also the advent of AI and being able to find Mythos and Claude team just saying that, multiple 0-day vulnerabilities and root level infrastructure. So, the unfortunate side is that these things it's a never ending battle. And that's why we are just slow thinking and doing everything humanly possible to make sure that there's nothing left uncovered, and that everything in the code base has been assessed thoroughly and up to the best standards that we know of. And really, it starts with the protocol team and with Layer, and we're doing things like robust documentation, automated tests everywhere, including unit tests, integration tests, end-to-end tests. But ultimately, there's also including AI scans and security scans, and constantly thinking, how can we improve these? What is a different perspective I could come at this particular segment of the code base, and how else could I thwart these sort of security postures? I think some of the best things you can do is just kind of minimize the attack surface, because there's less to defend. But ultimately too, we also need help from security experts and researchers, and so that's why this whole final phase, a big majority of it is exhausting our own internal resources and then relying on external resources to work as a team and to really ensure that everything is as secure as possible. I am committed to making sure that the protocol is secure. That's our biggest requirement. So, but I've heard other people just, and notable leaders in this space who are no longer consider DEXs in general to be safe. So it's definitely a crazy time. It's a rapidly evolving environment. It's something that we definitely lean on the top of the news coverage for me. My feeds are full of security concerns, updates, tooling, technology concerns, and we have several channels internally in communication with engineers across not only our company but like other partnerships and other cross-team communications that are constantly this network of security updates, so that everybody kind of watching each other's back as best we can. But yeah, it's impossible to say like 0% chance for anything in technology. However, we're going to make sure that it's as 100% as possible. So,
thanks, Grant. And that's all we can do. Put your best foot forward and stay secure while we can, and attack it as we come.
Yeah, and to that point too, just kind of follow up on that, not to get too much further into it, but there's the other part of that is being prepared and doing as much work beforehand. But then there's also, you need to be organized in case something does happen, and have emergency plans in place. And so that is something else that we've done to really do as much as we can to mitigate in the unlikely event that something were to happen. What would we do? How would we get organized so that we don't have to think about it in the moment? We just react, and we have a lot of plans in place, and hopefully that never happens. But ultimately, this is just layers of security. Security is all about layers, and we have a lot of layers.
Awesome, very good. Okay, I think we've tidied up the questions there, guys. Let's give a few seconds if there's anything else to come through. If anyone would like to say anything, jump in now.
No other questions for now. Just a reminder, you can always reach out in the Telegram channels, Discord, over email. There's many ways to reach out if you've got a question to ask, and we will do our best to make sure that it is responded to or answered. Would love to see the community and developers and everybody else, if you've got ideas for the governance of the network, to do your part and put in some proposals. It's been a minute since we've seen any community proposals during this build phase. So if you've got something you think is a great idea, or something that could help, or just maybe an organizational change, or just a small change, we welcome it. That's the whole point of the governance process. And that is not just meant for association members or council members, it's meant for everybody. So.
And for developers looking to build, devs@telcoin.org. You can send emails through there. That's gone through in the chat. Okay. Next meetings. So that will conclude the 39th Platform and Treasury Council meeting. Next meeting is on the 18th of June and 2nd of July, and then the 16th of July. So thank you all. 2026, year of Telcoin, mainnet's coming, MNO validators are setting up and actively testing. Next Telcoin blockchain standard is becoming reality. So that will conclude the Internet of Money's coming. And Treasury Council meeting. Next meeting is on Thank you guys. See you all in a couple of weeks. June and 2nd of July, and then the 16th of July.
Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone.
2026.
Bye, everybody.
Telcoin, mainnet's coming. MNO validators are setting up.
If you're reading
actively
between the
testing.
lines, that
Next Telcoin blockchain standard is becoming reality. So that will conclude the Internet of Money's coming. And Treasury Council meeting. Next meeting is on Thank you guys.